Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Jigsaw, the final movie of the Saw franchise, starring Matt Passmore, Tobin Bell, Callum Keith Rennie, Hannah Emily Anderson, and Clay Bennett, and directed by the Spyreg brothers. Now, I remember the trailers for this movie, and it's supposed to be really haunting so that he can take back Halloween. Yeah, let's see about that. I'm not going to make any predictions on that. Let's get into it. We open the movie with a chase sequence when Jigsaw is testing someone named Edgar, starting a new game for Jigsaw, and asks for Detective Holland, and Holland's partner shoots the remote after Edgar starts it up and gets shot in the chest by someone who I'll get to at the end of the movie. But I like that opening sequence. We open the game with 6 people named Anna, Ryan, Mitch, Carly, and 2 unknowns. I never got their names. I know one of them will be revealed at the end, but I'll talk about that. And we don't get to know any of them, except one is a prick, that's Ryan. Anna used to be John Kramer's neighbor. Mitch gives a guy a not in good condition with the brakes motorcycle and gets John's nephew killed. Carly steals people's belongings until they don't breathe anymore. Which, did she do that on purpose? Whatever. And I don't care about any of these people, even if they lived or died by the end of the fucking movie. They find a chip on a dead body that was hung earlier in the film, saying to the cops the games have just begun again. And how is that even fucking possible? 10 years after John Kramer dies? It makes no sense. It's really confusing. When the test subjects confess before they die, Anna brings up how she had a baby and says her husband killed her baby. And I thought, yeah, right. Come on, there's more to the story than that. Carly confesses she stole $3.53 from a purse of a fat lady. Sorry to impose that way, but it's true. And I feel bad for the fat lady more than Carly, because that was all she had, and Carly had to rob her, while the fat lady suffers from running after her. Again, these characters are fucking pointless. I'm gonna put it out there. Ryan tries to find a way out of the trap and gets strangled in the legs on a bunch of wires, and I thought, yeah, you deserve to fucking die by the end of this, but instead lives without his own foot, which, didn't that happen in Saw 1? I don't know. With Lawrence Foot, who isn't in this movie, nor is he mentioned for reasons I don't understand, because he was back in Saw 7, but not in this movie. Makes no fucking sense. We met a character named Logan Nelson earlier in the film, and I'll get to him later, but his assistant Eleanor, I first thought that was the Jigsaw's daughter, or niece, or something like that. I don't know, because later in the film she has a collection of the Jigsaw traps and equipment, but it turns out her last name is Bonneville. So that fooled me, and I like that twist. After Anna and Mitch have seeds poured in on them, there are saws falling on them, as well as other sharp objects, and they both get stabbed, and that's gotta fucking hurt, by the way. But that trap made no fucking sense whatsoever. The security guard falls asleep while Edgar gets poisoned, and Halloran yells at him for sleeping on the job, which I get why, but why put the fucking guard there in the first place? I don't understand. I mean, I know that they want to make sure that he's alive, but why does he fall asleep? You got me. Mitch gets sliced in circles as the trap begins, because I honestly thought he was going to live until Jigsaw says what I said about the character earlier when he was talking about his nephew. I first talked about him, so after he gets killed, I thought he fucking deserved to die at this point. I didn't care for him anymore. Halloran follows Logan and Eleanor. Like, they're working together on the Jigsaw traps felt very much like Saw 5 with Strom and Hoffman, only done briefly much better. John Kramer is alive and well and tests Ryan after he gets his friends killed and lied to the authorities and switched and messed with Jigsaw's x-rays. Anna was tested when her baby cries and she kills her baby. It made people believe her husband killed her body and accidentally by suffocating it to death, when really she's the one who killed it. Like, boo-hoo. You should have went to a fucking criminally insane hospital, but instead she let her husband take the blame and hangs himself in the hospital for the criminally insane. And the test ends up with Anna dead, which thank God, by a gun aimed backwards, and Ryan is remained alive, and the key to their freedom is lost forever. Like, what a wasteful test, and that scene was fucking pointless. Halloran and Logan are trapped while Eleanor escapes and finds a ride, and Halloran and Logan's test was they push their own buttons, confess, and die in front of each other, but Halloran pushes Logan's button and thinks he kills Logan, and the twist ending is Halloran is killed by lasers and Logan works with Jigsaw because Jigsaw's life was changed by Logan. And he was the one, by the way, folks, that shot Edgar at the beginning of the movie in the heart. And Halloran lets all criminals go free and good people go to prison, and Logan was asleep in the first game and is alive by the end of the movie, and Halloran's had head splits in many different directions, was a very confusing twist ending. And it's like the previous movies, and just like the previous movies, and just made no fucking sense whatsoever. Now let's give this movie a rating. I'll give the movie a 4.0 out of 10. This is a very confusing, twisty movie, and I don't like any of the characters except for Tobin Bell, who is barely in this movie. This sequel had no purpose of being made whatsoever, and this whole series was just a waste, and there's no point of watching any of these fucking movies at all in the first place. So, thank you guys for joining me for Jigsaw, and until next time, live or die, make your choice.